Welcome to the Year in Review. I'm Amy Bowman.
And I'm Paul Nicely. Coming up, we'll be examining some of the major events at Ball State University, everything from campus construction to athletics.
It has been a busy year, and there's a lot to tell you about. So think of it as Recent History 101, and get ready to look back at the 1991 academic year at Ball State University. Can you imagine 7 university presidents getting together for a single cause?
That'd be a first.
Well, it was, and it happened this past year as 7 state universities in Indiana joined together in support of a commitment to quality.
In an unprecedented move, the presidents of Ball State, Indiana State, Indiana University, Ivy Tech, Purdue, Southern Indiana, and Vincennes University have joined forces to sound a call for action.
What we're calling for is a commitment to quality that will involve all of the public institutions of higher education in the state, yet one that is unified and comprehensive, one that will call for the best of each institution's mission in higher education in Indiana.
Out of this class of high school students, only these will go to college. Many of the others will have the skills to further their education, and we must help them to take advantage of the opportunities.
But it's not enough just to encourage young people to continue their studies beyond high school. We must also do more to ensure they are successful in college. If their goal is an academic degree, we must ensure they have every opportunity to graduate.
Indiana is blessed with a strong system of higher education. Currently, Hoosiers need not look outside the state to find a quality school to fit their needs. But there are changing trends and growing problems which we must address now to ensure success in the future.
You can bet those efforts will continue for many years to come.
What would you call a high school student studying on a college campus?
Out of place.
Well, maybe in the past. But last year, Ball State University became the home of the Indiana Academy, a highly selective residential school for outstanding high school juniors and seniors.
It is officially called the Indiana Academy for Science, Mathematics, and Humanities. But to 150 high school juniors who made up the inaugural class, it is simply called home.
The Indiana Academy is in fact a traditional high school in most respects. We have the same energy, the same enthusiasm. We try to accomplish the same goals as you would think any good, effective school should try to accomplish.
It is not your typical high school, however. The students live in Burkhardt Hall on the Ball State campus, taking advanced high school classes while some take college-level courses. Other classes are televised and beamed across the state to many high schools. Green believes the academy is not an elitist form of education. In fact, the academy may not be the best choice for every gifted and talented student.
We try to identify our students in ways that do, in fact, allow them to be very gifted in one area, or at least realize their gifts in one area, and recognize that they will not be gifted in perhaps other areas as well. And that's why our curriculum has to be as diverse and as broad as it is. We'll have students who are very accelerated in mathematics, for example. But then on the other hand, we have to have courses that do prepare them for college, but don't expect them to be gifted in all areas across the board.
Next fall, the second group of juniors will arrive at the academy, bringing enrollment up to 300. They will find themselves in a new level of education in Indiana.
Admission requests for next year's academy have really shot up.
Great shot! That reminds me of a special evening in December when the Irving family scored some points of its own.
Fans attending the Ball State-Indiana State basketball game on December 4th witnessed the last tip-off in University Gym. At a halftime ceremony, the gym was renamed.
That this University Gymnasium will be named Irving Gymnasium.
A A $2.25 million donation to Ball State brought about the name change in honor of the Irving family.
The Irving Materials Incorporated company from Greenfield, represented by C.C. Skunk Irving and Pete Irving, along with another company in Marion and Muncie, the Irving Brothers Gravel Company, that's represented by Dick and Jack and Bill Irving, have of course supplied gravel for our parking lots, and they have helped pave lots, and they provided concrete for many construction projects on this campus over the years. We're delighted now to have the relationship develop into a contributor relationship, and very pleased to have these members of the Irving family join along with all the other contributors to our Wings for the Future campaign.
I'm not real sure how I feel. It's I don't think I think it's neat for my dad and his brothers, and that's what it's all about, I guess.
Well, naturally it'll make us feel very proud. We've never done anything like this before, but we feel real good about it.
The fans were appreciative as well, including Lieutenant Governor Frank O'Bannon. First victory in Irving Gym followed as the Cardinals defeated the Sycamores with a score of 76-75. Everyone hopes the winning streak will continue for many games to come.
The rest of basketball season was quite exciting as well.
It was a great year for all Ball State sports. Here's a quick look at some of the highlights. So many highlights in so little time. All the Ball State athletes had a great year, and that is something to be proud of.
And next year we'll have room for even more fans for basketball, volleyball, and other sports. Construction crews have been busy on the new arena this past year, and work is pretty much on schedule, with the 12,000-seat facility expected to be ready at the end of 1991. It has been 23 years since there has been any expansion of the physical education facilities at Ball State. And what better a way to change that than to build the largest indoor forum on campus? The same architects that designed the Hoosier Dome and the Sports Center Tennis Stadium in Indianapolis are in charge of this project. It will contain classrooms, laboratories, and specialized fitness areas such as an indoor jogging track and a weight room.
Phase 1 of the Health and Physical Activity Complex was completed in the spring. It's occupied by the Institute for Wellness, the Human Performance Laboratory, the School of Physical Education, and men's and women's intercollegiate athletics.
Renovations also took place across campus. The administration building facelift is now in Phase 2 as work continues on Ball State's oldest building. Just about everywhere you looked, there were improvement projects underway. All of the work is part of the campus master plan and will keep Ball State looking good as it nears its 75th anniversary celebration in 1993.
There's more than one way to spruce up a college campus. Ball State is planning for the future with plant life as well.
Ball State will double the number of trees and shrubs on campus by the year 2000. The university's forestation plan is intended to increase the number of species on campus and make the campus more attractive. New trees will help reduce pollution by absorbing exhaust fumes and reduce energy costs by shading buildings in the summer. They will also create homes for birds and other small wildlife.
Imagine this area where students now scurry through this really not well-planned space. Imagine a tree-lined canopy down through this nice boulevard, and just think of how people would react in a very positive way to such a positive environment.
Forestation committee members plan to increase the number of plant species on campus to provide a living laboratory for students. There are now 425 species on campus, up from 350 in 1990. The goal is to have 750 species by the year 2000.
Environmental awareness has sure grown recently.
Of course, Ball State students try to be aware of current events as well. The 1990-91 school year brought war to the Middle East, and everyone's routine changed. On Wednesday, January 16th at 4:50 p.m., President George Bush declared, "The liberation of Kuwait has begun." The attack on Iraq was in retaliation to Saddam Hussein's invasion of oil-rich Kuwait. Even though the action was taking place a half a world away, Ball State students kept up on the events. Just about every TV was tuned to CNN, and the viewers watched intently. New terminology became household words, such as sorties, scud, and chemical warheads. Some students got involved by showing their opposition to the fighting in the Gulf, marching in several demonstrations and camping in peace tents on the Quad. At the same time, hundreds turned out to show their support for the American troops involved in the conflict. They marched, sang, and carried signs in favor of the soldiers in the Gulf. After the war had ended, students went back to their normal routines, with the memories of the war still fresh in their minds.
If next year is as busy as this one was, it could only be positive for Ball State.
We only scratched the surface of 1990-91, but we hope we've given you a sense of how the university has grown and prospered. And by looking back, you can see that the foundations are in place for another year in the life of a premier teaching university. For Ball State University, I'm Amy Bowman.
And I'm Paul Nicely. Thanks for watching. So long.